Welcome back, our lovely salties. On today's episode, we'll fill you in on all my birthday weekend shenanigans that happened, recap the football wildcard games, and more. Our Saltbox topic this week is the buyers are back, and we have the proof. And of course, we'll wrap up with everyone's favorite, our Beaches Tide Check, to keep you in the know of all of our local events. So grab your drink and let's get ready to get a little salty with us.
Girl, what a weekend.
I'm tired.
I'm sure. I don't even know how you're doing anything right now.
We are recording.
I participated in probably 50% of your shenanigans.
You were there for all of the, what I would call, if we had an itinerary for the weekend, if I had thrown a wedding, who does that? Right, and then I was the rehearsal dinner is here, and then this is here or whatever. But the bookends of the shenanigans that happened outside of the regularly scheduled program things, they just kept going and going.
They just kept going. And I will say, for someone that a week ago, literally while we were on this episode,
that's true,
you had no idea what to do.
No plan.
You just you had no plans. You were not sure.
It was too anxiety ridden for me to think about it because it just seemed a little too overwhelming with everything I had going on. So I do appreciate you. You kind of cracked that like an egg, and we're just like, well, I'm going to start the recipe.
Well, and then your good friend Sarah came in town, which was amazing.
Yes,
that worked out really well.
That played into the universe's plan for this past weekend very well. My best friend.
It did very well. And so we had a really great weekend.
My best friend of 22 years, and then she's like 21 years, and I was like, no, we're 40, and she's like, you're 40. Hold on to what you can, Sarah. You got 3 more months.
She's got April, right? I think she told me April, and she's announced that she's coming down here, so
I think she pretty much wants the playbook. She wants the playbook of what actually happened because, believe it or not, it was so successful.
It was really successful. Well, you did your thing on Friday night, and then we did the Florida Tiki Tours on Saturday, which was fantastic. Shout out to them, and
we're going to make sure to post tons of pictures because Captain Dan and Marty, and of course, shout out to Lisa behind the bar there at the dock at the Tipsi Tiki bar where we go out on the boat. They made it clear that the owners wanted photos.
Yes. And then on top of it, if you stayed all night like me, then it was Leo. So get to see 2 bar.
You were there for the shift change. Yeah.
I was there for the shift change. I'm like, when do you close? And he's like, when you leave.
Oh, that's the right answer.
Yeah, that is the right answer.
Especially when the Packers and Bears were leaving. I figured that once you guys were knee deep in that, we ain't going nowhere for a while.
That definitely played into it. And then,
but the last I heard, we were all headed down from afterwards. We hung out there at the Tipsi Tiki for quite a bit longer. Yep. Shout out to everyone that came. I had a really good mix of people.
You did.
Work friends, personal friends, people that we've met since moving down here, neighbors. And it just really was kind of like an amazing little hodgepodge of all these little parts of my life that I actually now have realized I've created here. Yes, sometimes I still feel like they're going to revoke my pass and just be like, you didn't pass. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, as of right now,
yeah,
ICE is not coming after blonde hair, blue-eyed girls. So we'll just leave it at that, and we'll just keep moving forward. So then we participate on Saturday, and then lo and behold, I actually welcomed the idea of brunch on Sunday. I was like, oh, I am so glad. Yeah. Get me a Diet Coke, get me another drink, and get me something to coat my stomach right now, please, is what
You're so funny that you order a Diet Coke and then an alcohol side, because I literally was watching a reality show the other night and the guy ordered a Miller Lite and a Diet Coke and was drinking them at the same time. And I don't, you Diet Coke people, you guys are
there's something about the carbonation that helps with me, that it's literally so that morning I had coffee and Diet Coke, and then I was like, yeah, this is still not going to help me. So I need to shift to just having another beverage, right? I mean, I do tequila sunrise. Yeah.
The carbonation that you're referring to, though, you Diet Cokies, Cokies, have literally, it's the crispness.
It is.
You're addicted to the crispness.
It is. And then having the food was just fantastic. So, and then, and lo and behold, we got a show.
We did. We got a drag show. And it was everything that I had dreamed that it would be. It had been too long.
Were adorbs during it.
I was a fangirl the whole time. I could barely sit
You're a
down. I was so
fangirl.
excited, and so I
I
don't
I was
know.
like I was actually I loved it because I loved seeing how much you loved it. You were so excited, like, you were like,
Child.
"You're beautiful!" I was like, "Oh, we have okay, okay, I get it."
They were. I mean, they literally
They
are like
were.
looking at a Barbie doll in real
They
life
were.
because they do everything, and so it's
They
just like,
were.
I will never be as pretty as you are, and I love it. Like, I can't control myself. It's like that kid in that movie, right? Where she's like, it's so squishy. Like,
Yes.
I can't control the
You
volume. I
can't.
cannot control the smiles. I feel like I smiled more this weekend, which makes my life sound really sad. I smiled more this weekend. My face actually still kind of hurts. And the
Yeah, I love that,
laughing,
though.
I
I
laughed
love that
harder
for
this weekend, I swear, and more frequently than I mean, you and I laugh all the time.
Yes. Yeah,
But
no, that's right. That I understand that. Well, we just to put it out there, we went to Cocktail down on Central Ave in St.
yes,
Pete. They do, I think it's every second and fourth Sunday of the
it's called
month,
the Bitch
11 to
and Drag
2.
Brunch. Yeah. And it's
Yes.
every second and fourth of the month. And
And
it's
I actually
amazing.
love the way that they do it. So you can just show up. I'm
Yeah.
sure that it's
Yeah.
January, so I'm sure there's other months that are more popular than
Of
others.
course.
It's around the pool area, or you can do the cabana, which was fantastic because it just kind of gave us a place to, I don't
Yeah.
know, spread out a little bit
Well,
and kind of take ownership.
we
And
had a nice couch. Other people
we
were sitting
did.
on bar stools,
Yeah,
with no backs. It just like it was perfect because
it
then we
was.
had our food. At some point the weather did turn, which just shows the true performance of these
Yeah,
performers because they didn't stop.
they didn't stop.
It was a, Lady Gaga, rain on
Yeah,
me. Like,
yeah,
let's go. And so granted, everyone was safe. There's no lightning or anything. But they were troopers, man. They were
yeah,
troopers. We were in the safety of our little cabana area. We pretty much stayed dry.
yeah, for sure.
There was a point though, shout out to my girl Rhiannon who was with me. There was a point after the show. We didn't jump up and try to be in it. Okay, let me be clear. There was a dance party that occurred after the actual show. And it got to a point where there were some people that were in the pool, like on the sun deck parts, and kind of just dancing ankle deep, maybe knee deep in some water. And her and I were just like, yes, and ran over there. So we did dance in the pool a little
I
bit.
love that.
Yeah, but it was cold. And shout out
Yes,
to the one performer who during one of her sets
so
dove
good.
in off of the runway into the pool, full
People were
drag.
screaming. I mean, I was looked at like where I was sitting, I like shifted over to where the rest of the audience was, and they were, I mean, it was like Oprah's greatest things, right? They
It
were
was.
like,
We
it
all
was like,
literally
I
fell out of
mean,
our chairs. Just
it was amazing. Yeah, because I mean, it's January, people, and the pool was not heated. And here's
pretty
this, drag queen that just dives into the pool and
like a
makes it look
synchronized
like
swimmer, just
it was
beautiful.
amazing. It was
And
amazing.
then
So, what a
she
good
comes
weekend
up
for you.
out of the water like a mermaid and
Yeah.
nothing has moved. And then
Yeah, her
she's like
makeup was still
slowly
gorgeous.
coming up out of the pool in
And
some
of course, doing the hair
theatrical, like,
whipping.
yes. And I was just like, I can't take it. Like,
I actually think I have a video of that because I was primarily watching you be
good,
adorable.
good, because I need it. Because I've looked for that one with the water. I call her the mermaid, and I can't. We have videos of a lot of other shenanigans, which
Yes.
we can't post them all, guys. Okay.
Yeah. We
So, but
can't post
for
them all. And sometimes we do have some, as much as we talk about this being a documentary, we still do
it
have some. This is a diary piece where you don't necessarily tell the world, you write it in your diary.
is.
So that, yeah,
So much stuff. Oh my god. If
so
you are one
fun.
of our personal friends and you find us, or if you're one of our tried and trues, which we are affectionately calling you good people salties, we
Mhm.
might show you. We
Yeah, we
might
might show
show
you.
you. But we're
We
not
might
posting
share with
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not
There'll
posting
be
it.
plenty of stills and things that we can post that'll
That's
everyone will
right.
get the gist of it. But yeah, no, you should have been there.
Yeah, you should have been there is right. You
It's
should have
like
been there.
Vegas, baby. No, it's kidding.
Yeah. So, and then
So
can we
playoff
just,
game
did
wise.
you get your Bears shirt yet? Because you might need to be thinking about it. I'm going to bring you one tomorrow.
Okay, bring me one
Maybe.
that like Brody's outgrown or something, some
Oh,
child thing laying
totally.
around. Perfect.
Totally. It
Perfect.
is like 6 minutes left. I mean, it was just bad. It was just not good. It was just depressing. And they
I
show
watched
like all
that.
these
Yeah.
fans that are just like,
This. It's this and crying and
and
like
then
this.
it was like they were at the drag show. the way that they were acting afterward.
Right? They lose their minds. You are gorgeous. Right. No,
exactly. Exactly. And then you see the men like doing this because a lot of the men have decided to Bears fans because Caleb Williams paints his nails.
Oh.
Yeah, his mother is she does nails for a
So the
living.
Bears
So
guys
he decided in high school to start painting his nails just as a tribute to his mother for no reason other than he just wanted to do it and he wanted to do something different. So he's been painting his nails for quite some time. So now, like you see on TikTok, like fans being like, I'm getting you a gift certificate to a petty, a mani pedi. Or they showed on Saturday night a guy that was just like, and he had his nails painted.
You know what would be? They need to sell gloves in the Bears
That would
colors
be a
that
good
have
idea.
nails, like
Yeah.
not even fake ones, but just like kind of like a color splotch,
Yeah.
like right there or whatever. It could.
Yeah. So they showed that, and then at the
mark
end of the
that.
game, they show like the cheese grater, which I don't even know how they got through security. Maybe that was yeah, you could take that in. Of fans with cheese graters with a block of cheese because they played the Packers.
Yeah, really. How did you get that in there?
I don't
Because
know.
the bag
That's all
that
I was
the
thinking.
bag that I'm aware we can actually like bring in is like no bigger than
Yes,
this.
that's
Like what
right.
the hell? Whose
I
pants
don't
was
know.
that down? Right? Like what? God,
I
watch
mean,
out.
that's exactly. So that was a good game.
I
Everyone
did
else
watch that.
was
That was kind of scary. I heard the Jaguars performed well again. I heard the
did.
Bills performed well again. I heard that the Eagles lost.
They did.
That is just so
Yeah, so sad. Fly, Eagles, fly away.
girl. 49ers. Go.
Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
do it. I didn't have them on my card, but I'm a fit.
Well, I don't think anyone did, and I think that that's just the thing is that this week, this whole season has just been wacky.
I do feel again, any true and tried fan of any team, it's always disappointing to see your team get knocked out. And I'm being a bit facetious, but I mean, if you've listened enough, you know that nobody wants the Eagles to win except for the Eagles. And it's the same with the Chiefs. Right. Trust me, I get it.
Yeah,
but the problem is that they hate us because they think we cheat. We hate you because you're assholes. Sorry.
I mean, I think that that's exactly it.
Our boys are still polite Midwestern gentlemen. So
yeah, they're not necessarily that way. So no? At least all the majority of the Eagles fans that I have met.
Well, and I'm sure they're going to go back to Philly. They're going to break a couple poles and say, dang nabbit, and then figure it out next year. So whatever. We'll see you next year.
No, that's what they'll say. And when does baseball start?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very
true.
What
they'll just move. They'll shift right onto it. They'll shift to bed. Yeah. So wild card weekend is over with. Well, tonight is one more.
One of our coworkers, I think, posted that Trevor Lawrence, one more thing with the Jaguars, that Trevor Lawrence is Sunshine from.
Yes. I think we mentioned that once.
What movie is that?
Yeah. Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. Yeah.
I actually got that and you didn't. That is something I need to write down as 1/13. Is it the 13th?
It's a 12th.
1/12/26.
Document it right.
A movie that Caitlin did not. Amazing.
Yeah, I was about to go Denzel Washington.
Yeah, you were
that big guy that was in Varsity Blues that died. Like he's in it too.
Yeah,
I know all the random shit.
You know all that. Yeah, you do. You do.
No, but you're right. I mean, tell me, good person that still is paying attention. I'm gonna get back into it now that we're knee deep in the playoffs and such. But I was in denial for the last few months, so I just kind of been a little tuned out. Is there any? So there's more games again this weekend, or is there any kind of buys?
Yeah, this coming weekend. Nope, this coming weekend there will only be a bye in between the 4 and then it goes down to 2. I'm pretty sure there's I think it's like February 8th is Super Bowl, so I guess it would be the January 1st or it'd be the 1st. I think there's a bye. Usually there's a bye then. So and then they start it. So but yeah, so we'll see.
Because I have so much to do. I have to learn Spanish. I have to get a t-shirt. Yeah.
You have a lot to do. NFL just needs to wait because Caitlin's got stuff to do.
Lots
to do to get ready for it. That's right. So, but yeah, so let's get into the salt box.
I love it. So we are going to get into our salt box today. And our salt box topic is the buyers are back. We're back. Yes. We're back. So
yeah, so pulling it back to real estate as Caitlin and I do on probably once every 4 or 5 episodes. We definitely needed, this was just like, we had to bring this in today because it was just, it's really, really amazing. I mean, the change of the calendar doesn't always signify anything. The end
Yeah.
of the holidays
Mm.
definitely signified. I had more contact with potential buyers this holiday season than I have the last couple of holiday seasons.
Yep.
And you can name all these different reasons as to
Mhm.
why, but they're all pedaling really fast. And in a couple of my situations, we're actually waiting for homes to come on the market,
Gotcha.
which
It's just
is
not out there. Yeah.
scary and amazing at the same time.
It is. It is because people would think right now that it is a buyer's market. And so
Yes,
when it's a
at
buyer's
least
market,
in
there's
this area of Florida.
in this particular micro market, which was another thing that we wanted to make sure to talk about because
Yeah.
going through the holidays, how many people do you see? And, oh, to the family. But how's the market? How's the
Yes.
market? How's the market? And it really, we're not dancing around you when we try to give you the what you might consider a long-winded answer, but it cannot be simply summed up of it sucks or it's dead or it's busy, because you have all these other national syndicates too going out doom and gloom and trying to spread the generic message of everywhere, which,
Yep.
trust me, Gary, Indiana, Topeka, Kansas,
Yes.
that is not what we're dealing with down here, good
No.
people.
No, we're not.
And so
No, we're
it's
not.
different. Every market is truly a micro market.
Yeah.
And so it's just like within a 10-mile radius. Seminole, Florida is not the same as Madera Beach, Florida.
Exactly.
And it
Exactly.
never has been. But it is
No, it
interesting that
hasn't.
you say you have buyers that are looking for specific things where they don't have a plethora of choices right now, because that, my friends, would also contradict what the news is saying, you
It
know?
would. It would. I mean,
However,
there's a couple different things I think that factor in for this area. I mean, we talk about micro markets where, like, raw definition for us is just that there's certain areas in all markets that do well no matter what the situation is.
yeah,
And we see that we're a year out from the hurricanes, as that was a hindrance. We're a couple of years into the condo situation where
true.
we're past all of that. The board of directors as well as the HOA have right sized the whole
Or they have a plan,
situation.
and it's not
They have a
just something
plan.
that's just buried in the sand with their head. Yeah,
Exactly. All
exactly.
of that stuff. So there's all of that that's combined. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I spent time calling canceled and expireds to see if they were interested in
And
selling
still
because
selling. Yeah.
yeah, because that's what has happened in this market is that, they're you looking for a very specific area and that is what's happened. And
Yep.
there's a lot of national news, but as we always, people will say, the real estate market. And I'm like, okay, unfortunately, there's quite a few things that always happen every year, right? There's just,
True.
unfortunately, there's death, there's people having dependents, there's people, that are getting divorced, there's investors that need to reinvest. There's a lot of different things that are always happening no matter what
No
kind of
matter
market
what.
we're in.
Right. Job
Exactly.
transfers, whether it's the right time to move or not, we got to go.
Yeah. And when you
So,
think about mortgage rates, right? So
yeah,
we were at like a national low a couple of years ago, like the lowest it has ever been. And the highest that it's ever been, so those were in the twos and the threes, right? The highest it's ever been is 17, 18%. And we're at like anywhere between 5.5 and 7.5, depending on credit and
correct.
depending on all of those things. So we still have, I mean, it's a good market right now. And I think that
I
it's a good
think that
outlook.
a lot of these buyers too, who have been on the sidelines for the last few years with the raising of the interest rates, since those were two or threes we're seeing in COVID to spark the
Yes.
system, right? We're trying to light the damn burner with that, and stimulate the economy during a world pandemic. It was a bit where, like, well, I got that, and now I'm going to squat on this forever. I'm never giving up
Hmm.
this 2.35% on this property ever. We're going to make this house work, or we will buy another house and this house
And rent it.
will
Yeah.
work for us.
Yeah.
Correct. You had a lot of people too, though, that have now, I don't know, it's like, even though we tried to tell them that that was such an anomaly for such a weird thing going on in the world, and that the likelihood was we weren't going to see those again, and we shouldn't want to, because that means we're all
Yes.
locked in our houses again, right?
Well, we're locked in it and the prices are so high.
And the
You're
prices
paying
are
the same
right.
thing.
Exactly.
Your
So
monthly is the same.
right now, I think that people are finally coming to Jesus with, this is normal and we can't wait any longer. And I'm sick and tired of this kitchen. And if these kids have to share a bedroom one more year, someone's dying.
Yeah,
Right? Because
exactly.
we
Exactly.
made Billy and Timmy live together until they're like 9 and 12
That's
now.
right.
And now it's literally going to be a murder suicide and they're on Snapchat if we don't separate them. So,
That's right. Well, and one of the things that we always saw before is
yeah,
that you had to have 20% down.
exactly.
And you're not
Exactly.
seeing that now. I mean,
No.
the couple that I'm working with that are going to mortgage, because some of them are cash buyers, like 3 of them are only going to put 5% down. And their mortgage broker has asked me to do seller concessions to help with their closing costs. So they're out of pocket. And I don't know what their financial situation is, truthfully, but
So
that's
they're
not my
bringing a
job.
$100 bill to the closing and they'll get the key.
That's right. That's right.
Got
Here you go.
it.
Here you go. Right here. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I don't, and they're saying they want to keep their money in the bank
Yeah.
because that's just the uncertainty. We want to keep our cash and we'd rather
Yeah.
finance the rest of it or whatever it might be. But I think
And
it's,
the seller
yeah,
financing terms right now too, even with balloon payments, they are willing, some of them, to do 3%, 4%.
yep,
So when they know they don't have to go mess with the bank to begin with, and you get the 5% down,
yes,
and you know you have that rate for the next 2.5 years, you can play the game with the bank, wait for them to come down, and then refinance or pay off the balloon payment for the seller
yeah,
financing.
yep, for the
There's
seller
creative ways
financing.
around it, but it's so interesting because it was a little quiet, right? It was a little quiet out there.
It was.
Stephanie and I have a joint listing that we've been working with the seller. I feel like we're all part of the family now. We've
We
been
are.
through the
Yeah.
hurricane with her and everything with that. But I know you, because you're a real agent, have your own business going on too that I'm not associated with, but handling all the files too for the new builder projects that go through our office here on the
Yeah.
beaches that we have the exclusive listings for. Me, I title the
Yeah.
file calls. Been a minute since we got a flurry of some calls of interest, then actual showings scheduled and successful showings where then communication has been kept throughout afterwards, and it's being finalized with reviewing of contractual documents. So they're serious, and it's not
Yes.
just a looky-loo, I guess we can call it. And at this point, now it's so funny because like one particular building that we've had 5 developer units left in for a
Quite
while.
some time. Yeah.
And those sellers and the developers and the investors are looking to offload those. But at the same time, kudos to them for not just bottoming out the building in general to fire
Yeah.
sale them. And they're standing proud in the value of them and also helping with the existing owners not to lose their ass on just, selling it out from underneath them. So at this point, I would be surprised actually. We have a battle going on one of the particular units.
Nice.
Good people, this is what we're also trying to warn you about, is that when we have all these buyers come over the fence like this, like The Walking Dead, it's going to make it a lot harder because all it does is take one more interested party that's interested in the piece of cake that you want.
Yep.
Next thing you know, that piece of cake is no longer as obtainable. And I don't want to use the word cheap, but the creativeness in which the motivation of the seller might be willing to be
Is
involved in
lost, right.
is gone. It's like, I
Yeah,
got
they
this
don't
guy
need
over
it.
here. What
Yeah.
are you about? Right.
Yes. No,
And then
that's right. I think that those are really, you go into, from a buyer's perspective, you go into a new build, they're
Yep.
offering fantastic incentives. The price that you see, so typically, like, you see a price, with the finishes and everything, you're probably going to spend about 15% over that price. But the seller concessions that you get off of it, whether it's, kind of a mortgage rate that just grows a little bit for the next couple of years and they give you an introductory rate or they give you credits back.
Right.
Those are really, really hot right now. And then to what you said, mortgage companies are kind of tied. They, just like the real estate industry, they were booming too a couple of years ago. And so they're playing a little bit of catch up and trying to get these deals done and trying to make them affordable without becoming totally 2008 again.
I was just gonna say, bro, we're too loose though with it.
Yeah, we're
Let's
not
just
going to
make
get too
sure we
loose.
still cross the T's
Yeah.
and dot the I's, right? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. No, that's right. Where they were like handing out mortgages to even our dogs, right? I mean, they
How
were
much
just,
for the little girl, right?
well, I remember one of my friends, like, I knew what she did for a living and I knew she made minimum wage. And I was like, how is this person affording a $400,000 house? But, that's neither here nor there. And that's not where we're at now.
And good people, this is also before OnlyFans. We never would have questioned it nowadays.
No, we never would. We all knew.
Girl, you got a side hustle you didn't tell me about?
Right.
Go on.
That's right. That was way before Tinder, Ashley Madison,
Feed Finder. All the ways that I'm slowly trying to think, maybe it's not that bad.
That's right. Oh, so you're the girl that shows up with the singles to the strip club.
Pretty much.
Yes, you is. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Only the thing is,
I'm not at the strip club. I'm at the drag bar.
That might be never more of a true statement.
I'll spend more money there any day.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will.
But the one thing we wanted to make sure to mention, guys, is that with the buyers coming back into the market, if you have been thinking about selling your house, even if you're not particularly in our market, there are some generic tips that we can give to you. And in general, I feel when it comes to real estate and setting yourself up for success, Stephanie and I are big proponents, though, on how do I word this? Basically, we know what we know, and we know we know it. But we're not going to drive over to the other side, Lakeland, and act like we know that.
Yeah.
We don't. No. And so I feel like even if it's a particular area, when we get to an acute question, we can then help you make sure to get in touch with somebody that's market specific
for sure
in your area. Because you also don't want to go on to, it's like WebMD, good people. You're not going to type in your symptoms on WebMD unless you're just a masochist. I don't know, because you're going to have everything wrong with you. So if I Google, how's the real estate market in Florida? Guess what's going to come up? Generic crap. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's right. No, we make sure that we stay in the lane that we know. And we will absolutely, if you're looking at when people come to buy to this area, they say Tampa, and that can mean Bradenton, that can mean St. Pete, that could mean Wesley Chapel.
It could. And the duration, the thing is when you're talking about product, okay? And to us, the product is the type of property that you're looking for.
Yeah.
If somebody like Stephanie, who is well-versed in condo law, she would also be a great option for you to look into condominiums in the Wesley Chapel area.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes time to thinking about where your schools are going to go, first of all, we cannot steer you whatsoever on that.
That's right.
But that might be an agent that has grown up and raised children in that area that's willing to violate her license. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. No, that's right. No, but it's the truth. I mean, I helped someone purchase a home in Wesley Chapel last year, and I was very uncomfortable, but I had a friend that was a friend of a friend that really was like, no, and I wasn't afraid to learn it.
No,
and
but
do
it
the
was
research behind it. But I friended another realtor over there strategically as they were interested in that home. They didn't end up going to that home, but I befriended her just so that she could help me make some decisions on like how to guide them so that and I was very honest with the clients about it. I didn't pretend that was an area that I work in all the time, and I was glad to help them. And I mean, I could sit there and look at houses all day long and go in and out of houses all day long and just have the best time of my life. So I'm not afraid of that. But to get all the answers that you need, you and I will both do the homework to get to that point. But we try to stay in our lane as much as we can.
Well, because we want to make sure that the traffic continues in a regularly scheduled pattern.
Exactly. That's right. That's right.
So, but at the same time, the buyers are back. And so if you've been thinking about it, and this, again, if it's not a right time for you, it's not a right time for you. We're not trying to say, go, come and get it, but at the same time, this was a question that I know I got asked a lot. I figured you probably did over the last 30 days.
Yes.
Because that was the wrap up the holiday season, all the parties, all the people. And how's the market? How's the market? How's the market? How's the market? So it was funny to me how you could vet people that maybe really truly were trying to figure it out versus people just asking the generic, like, how's the family? Because when you try to start to give them the maybe a little more detailed answer, then it's great. Their eyes just kind of go. Whereas the other people are like, oh, yeah, okay. And then kind of lean forward a little bit. And you're like, are you looking right now and didn't tell me? Because we are no longer friends. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and
if you tell me you're on a BBA with somebody, I will jump off of this tiki boat right now.
That's right. That's right. And even the conversations that you and I are having about that we talk about with real estate, I will say that when I'm out and about, I have had more conversations that are engaging
That's what
conversations
I'm saying.
about
It
real estate.
keeps going,
That's
right?
Yeah, that just keeps going. That's actually what was going on at the Tipsy Tiki the other night, and why I like didn't make it over to Bamboo is that I was talking to this couple from Madeira that they had purchased a couple of years ago, and they were worried about their home, and we just had this really great conversation about real estate just in general. It was about
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, more and more people are not glazed over. They're actually listening to us.
They're
They don't have
actually
cataracts right
listening,
now.
which is
That's
good.
right. It
Yeah.
is. It
I
is.
would it makes me really excited. I know when I first got into the business, and I feel like this is a natural kind of
5-year
flow
wave.
for brand new agents, is buyers. Buyers tend to come quicker than sellers.
They do.
For the new agents. And so just traditionally, okay. Now granted your clientele base and the things you're gonna start to have your sphere with it, the more business that you do. But it's been a minute since I worked with a buyer. I was actually thinking about this, and the last time I actively worked with a buyer, which I'm still working with some right now, but we're in the search stage, okay?
Yes.
We've gotten with the lender. They're looking at the loan programs right now, but actually letter in hand, knock, 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 let's go every Saturday. I don't have one. And the last time that I actually didn't have a listing instead of a buyer was December of 2024.
Wow.
Was my last close where I represented the buyer side. The rest of it has been listings for me, but I'm excited. Some
Me
of our
too.
agents in
I'm
our
so
industry
excited.
will kind of talk about buyers this, buyers that, maybe giving a runaround. But I think ever since the buyer brokerage agreements, where the clear working relationship is established right out the gate between an agent and a buyer in the brokerage, I think that that's helped. And I also think that buyers can be more fun, only in the fact of it's so exciting usually for
It's
them.
so exciting. Yeah, I have a family
Yeah.
that I'm working with, right? Well, a couple of families, and I got out of the car with them last week, and I'm like, I am so excited. And this isn't even my house. I
I
just
know,
can't wait
right?
to do this with you.
I
It's so
know.
fun. I
Yeah.
guess that tells you you're in the right job, right?
It does. It really does. Because if I just was, in my car, just ugh, and
Yeah.
then we get out of the car, hi. Trust me, there's certain days where I'm just in my car, but that's not because of my precious buyer. That is because of my
Yeah.
life. Yeah, that's my life. Meh. I just don't notice that
Exactly.
I just didn't notice that my forehead was on the horn, and that's why everyone's staring. Just kidding.
That's
Next thing you
me
know,
making that noise.
they think you're having an overdose. But
That's right. Well, in Florida, that's what it would be.
I'm
So
saying you have to make it
sorry,
real
not
known before
sorry.
that Narcan comes in. I'm awake. God. Oh God, drugs and buyers, right? Got
That's
to get that
exactly
fixed.
it. That's right.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
right. Boy.
Well, I think the last thing we wanted to go ahead and talk about is we are going to do a new segment, and it is
Yes.
our beaches tide check.
Yep.
And I like this because, as you lovely salty listeners know, we talk a lot about things that are going on in our neighborhood.
We do. We just can't help it. We actually just love it. We just love this area,
Pretty
love the
much.
neighborhood,
It's
and
very
we
true.
want people to be involved because we actually love the people that are involved,
Yeah.
that are kind of on that other line, but and we
Yep.
support them. So yeah.
100%. We also realizes that a lot of the events we tell you good people about, they're on the freaking beaches. So hence the beaches
Yeah.
tide check.
Yes. Beaches tide check.
The beaches tide check. Here,
If you
here.
really want to know about the tide, this might not be the right segment. But you can call me.
No.
I'll tell you where
We'll
the
tell
tide's
you.
at.
I'll tell you if you smell like low tide. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right. Well, no one care if you're just hanging out here. Most people don't care what the tide is. They just want to know where the dolphins are, right?
Yes, true. I was gonna say I do know a lot of people care about the wind. I'm like, okay, Pocahontas.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fellers of the wind
Yeah.
over here. Got it.
That's right. That's
Oh
right.
my gosh. So there is a few things coming up this month. We don't have too much. I think everyone's still rebounding from the
Yes.
holidays and my birthday. But I think it's good because I need a bit to
Yeah.
recoup. But one of the first events we wanted to make sure to mention was the Kite Festival, right?
Yes, that is so fun. That's so fun that Treasure Island's doing that. I
A
know
little
that we
birdie named
talked a
Stephanie
little
told me
bit.
they're going to be lit up too at night.
Yes, lit.
Right? I'm
They're gonna
very
be
excited.
fun. I mean, it's like a kind of like a drone show, but kite style.
Yeah, absolutely. And if
Yeah,
one of
so
them's in the
that's
shape of a drag queen, whatever,
whatever.
Fame.
I may or may not be me,
Oh my God, can you imagine if they can make the kite do a death drop? Oh my God, I'm gonna lose it. Okay, I'll freak out again like we're at the drag bar. Okay, get your cameras ready. But that kite festival, good people, is going to be January 16th through the 18th. So that's this weekend. So make sure to come down to Treasure Island and check that out. It's going to be.
Oh my God, it is already this weekend.
It is this
Oh,
weekend.
yes.
Yes. So we wanted to make sure to mention that again. We'll probably snip maybe a little reel about that with the drag queen death drop kite. Anyway.
Yes.
And then of course
it's by the Belmar Hotel.
That's right. So it's going to be located on the widest part of the Treasure Island beach. I think they call that sidewalk that runs behind all of the resorts and restaurants the boardwalk. Not to be confused with the John's Pass boardwalk. They actually call it the TI boardwalk. So make sure to stop in Sloppy Joe's when you go.
Yes, all of those that are there that finally are open. So good.
I was going to say, shout out to the Ocean Club bar too. They actually have nice little snacks that you can take down to their cabana areas. So
love it.
And then we want to make sure to tell the good people that Wednesdays, that Madera Beach Market, here we go.
Full swing. Yep. Oh, yep. You got your sign.
Right. So every Wednesday, located at City Hall here in Madera Beach, that is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But Friday, right? We looked it up. It's a Treasure Island one, right?
Yeah, it's a Treasure Island one. Yep. That's where the Pinellas Beach's Chamber of Commerce hosts that.
So the Friday market in Treasure Island is located on 106 Ave, just behind the Walgreens off of Gulf Boulevard. This is actually from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So they're a little bit more early birds than we are.
Yes, that's right.
And I think at this point, the last thing we wanted to make sure to mention was you have the Trash Pirates date, which
the 7th of, I believe it's 7th of February. So, 7th of February, because 31 days. So yeah, the 7th of February, it's the first Saturday of every single month. You can meet at John's Pass or right down there at Madera Way. And now that I'm kind of thinking about it, is that Madera Way is going to have some change coming on in the next 6 weeks or so. That will be exciting too. We're not even going to tease it any more than that, but there's going to be some fun stuff going on.
I think that it would be unfair for us not to talk about the changes that are coming, because here's the thing. There's 2 businesses that have actually already put onto the socials when their last day will be. Right. So I feel safe that we're not jumping the gun now. Frabadas has made the announcement that they will actually be closing at the end of this month.
That's so sad.
I did hear on good authority, though, that it's going to take a little bit to get the crane. So if they wanted to, they could possibly stay open until mid-February. But at this point, staff has been told, that's hard. That's hard to kind of take it back. But we'll see what happens. But right now, the last thing I saw was that Frabadas Pizza Kitchen is going to be closing at the end of the month. I thought that Saltwater Hippie was also going to be concurrently closing at the same time, but a little birdie told me that the restaurant across the way, Brass Captain, which is the same lovely owners, isn't going to be quite ready. So they are going to plan on, I think, trying to stay where they are, Saltwater Hippie, until mid-February when they can get over. And that makes sense because they want to concurrently, close Saltwater and open Brass Captain. I get that. So that makes sense. But yeah,
there is. And I think that the one thing that we do need to mention with that is that these businesses knew this was happening.
100%. Don't chain yourself to the bar.
Yeah, please don't think that these businesses didn't know that this was going to happen, that they were part of it, and they are behind the scenes, very part of it. And this is not being done in a malicious intent.
Well, and it didn't sneak up on anyone. Okay. That's another thing that Stephanie kind of was leading with. 5 years?
5 years at least.
5 years, 6 years? Yeah, it's been approved. Right.
I mean, I remember when Saltwater Hippie actually opened and people talking about how it was a temporary lease because of some development that was going on. It just actually takes that long for development to happen. And then you throw in a massive, not just 1, but 2 hurricanes that might slow the process down just a little bit. So don't think anything bad of that. And then I actually don't know, but we'll need to find out an update of what's going on. Maybe we can find out at the John's Pass meeting tomorrow what's going on with the shack across the street too, that over at Archibald Park.
Because snack shop.
The snack shop, because I think that They haven't quite figured out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in social media, and they're just trying to figure it all out. But
let's all remember that it just wasn't that long ago that the commission did pass the extra money to do the exploratory for the work that was needed to make sure that it could be rectified, because it got rocked. So it was so funny. Some lady saw a picture where the door was open and there was some construction gentlemen standing in, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see work starting on the snack shack."
Yeah.
And people are just like, they're just looking at it like it's not work and whatever. And it's just like, oh my God, leave grandma alone. Like, she's just trying to have a happy moment. You maybe could nicely correct her, like, we are hoping, but anyway, who has time?
That's right.
But no, you're right. Right now, we still think that we're still in that kind of engineering exploratory option. We have not been told yes or no.
No, nothing yet.
No.
And they haven't reconvened yet with their meetings too. So
speaking of other places though, and I know this wasn't on our beaches tide checklist, but I want to make sure to mention it, the VFW. So they had original plans to be reopened in January, and actually the commander of the post just recently posted, I believe it was this weekend actually, and right now they're moving along. It's just taking longer than anticipated. So they are still hoping for maybe mid-February.
Okay.
Personally, I'm hoping that they're going to be open for St. Patrick's Day at least. And again, I hope February for their sake, but I just, that's in my head, I would like to be gambling there again. No, I'm just kidding. By St. Patrick's Day.
Well, we did decide St. Patrick's Day. Caitlin already sent me a request of blocking off that day. So
out of the office.
Cannot come to the blocked out.
Nope.
Blocked out. So that's where we're going. That's where
they're lucky it doesn't fall on a Sunday, because I know where I'd be again.
We are
my
lucky.
Favorite sexy drag leprechaun.
I'm lucky.
Yeah, you're lucky. It's because in 2 weeks I'm going to need you again for the 4th Sunday of the month. So just go ahead and put that on there.
I'm just going to put that. Okay, inbox. Make sure I write that down.
Alrighty, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Hopefully our salties are enjoying our new kind of episode flow.
That's right.
And we are looking for feedback. So if you have any suggestions, comments, questions, of course, be nice. But we are kind of looking to change it up a little bit. So
yeah, and our salt box kind of area is, it can be a question.
It can.
It can be a viewer question that we just needed to explore and we need to talk about. And pretty much everything is on the table. We don't do politics, as we don't want people. Well, I mean, there's enough in this world, right? There's enough
in this world. I feel like they can listen to us chat about something else more fun.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, I'm just going to have to walk out of here and go, honk my horn alone in my car.
I'll put the narc pen. Yeah, we're good. That's right.
Right. Oh, God. Alrighty, guys. So make sure to give us a like and a follow on the socials. Of course, full episodes can be found on YouTube and Spotify. And we are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So
that's right. That's right. That's right, people. Hey, so salties, stay salty and sip often.
Bye.